Okay, I hit the button. Gonna get started here. I've come to the realization in my lives that the mower cam just isn't gonna work. And the reason why is because the transmitter, I'm just guessing here. I've done everything I can to make that thing work. And it seems like the transmitter cannot handle the vibrations on the mower. So when the mower's running, it can't handle the vibration, and because it can't handle the vibrations, it's just not cutting it. So I'm gonna have to just change that setup for that deal. Okay, just got to figure out. I think this is. Oh, that's not going to stand up with that on there. Okay, so doing something a little different today. I've been meaning to do this to my neighbor Wilson's yard. This is the lawn renovation I did last year. And let's see here. I started scalping this thing to do this, and I'm basically just going to do a reseed, like an overseed. There's a couple of high spots in it that I wanted to use the scarifier blade to break down a little bit. I use this dethatcher a lot differently than most people do. In fact, I'm going to talk about this dethatcher in a little detail today because I'm going to not give it a review so much. Sorry, I'm just putting in the dethatching tines. I'm just going to run that over real quick. This shouldn't take too long. I've got all the dirt ready. I've got everything going. One thing I do want to check though is just want to make sure the sound's working okay. It should be. Yeah, okay, so that's on there. I have my drone camera set up, but I don't know that I'm going to use it because I think I need batteries. I'm not going to use it because, I might use it towards the end to do a little bit of flyover and stuff like that. I've done some work on my yard, and so this process that I'm going to be doing on Wilson's yard, I'm basically going to be doing on my yard. I was going to do it today, but I don't think I have enough material to do it. So I'm probably going to do it next weekend and get some more material. But I am going to show you what I did over there. I don't know, I might do a mow. I don't know. I have all my cameras plugged in, so they should run for a while. And I'm just out here working today. I've been out in the yard since like 7 this morning, actually before then. Okay, shocker, this thing still works. So I have this thing set all the way down. It's really wet. I think he just watered. Let me turn this down a notch. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, so I started this process on Wilson's yard. Like I said, it's like 6 weeks ago, I scalped it, and I've been mowing it at that ever since. And then the temperatures have been up and down. I know perennial ryegrass generally doesn't need to be dethatched. I'm just running this over this really just to kind of thin it out. I want to work a lot of seed down into this, because what I did was I pulled a lot of cola out, and when I pulled it out, I just took my weeder and I pulled it out, and just left the holes, because I was planning on doing it the next weekend. And then with the yard renovations I've been doing, I just totally lost track of it, and I never got it done. So this is really the same process that I use on my yard. When I try to get it in its prime shape for the season, I'm like 2 weeks behind. I usually do this Memorial weekend on my yard, and I'm going to be doing the same process, but a little bit deeper than I'm going to do on Wilson's. And I got the detaching blades on, and I don't know if you can see, but it's really not kicking anything up. And like I said, I'm really just trying to comb it, because the aeration blades are going to do most of the work at loosening up the top layer and basically digging some grooves down in the soil. And this is just to kind of get some of this loose material off of here. And some of this dead material there along the sidewalk here. The sprinklers really don't cover this far, and it kind of suffers over here a little bit. So because of that, I tried to work with Wilson to get him to get some sprinklers that are going to cover a little bit better. But he's a busy guy. He's been doing a lot of his own projects. In fact, he's got another grass project we're going to do. He just had some concrete work done in his backyard. I think I just totally missed a spot. I think I went out of line there. It's this little area right here. So I had planned to get out here a little earlier because it's supposed to be kind of warm today. I don't know. I think it's going to be in the high 80s. I think tomorrow is supposed to be the scorcher day. And I wanted to, but Wilson, this area gets shaded, most of the day. So I get up early every morning, and last night, my birthday was a week ago, and we were going to go to the casino to kind of just have a little fun, wind down a little bit. Since we didn't have our grandson yesterday, after doing some chores and stuff like that, we went down there last night, How you doing? And man, I haven't been going to the casino a lot. And man, I hit a jackpot last night. I was playing this Triple Fortune Dragon, and you know, I really don't like that game because I never win at that game. But the casino we went to is a little closer to the house. And I was walking by these machines and I was like, what the heck is Triple Fortune Dragon Players Edition? I mean, I've never noticed that name before on the machines. And they've been kind of redoing a lot of the areas of this casino. So we sat down and we started playing it. And this machine did something I'd never seen the machines do before. The little dragon, I don't know if you ever played it before, but the dragon at the top, I don't know, he got like really pissed off or something, and he just started spitting out all these, you know, the machine kind of went a little crazy, and, you know, was, and the dragon's, you know, acting up, and he's spitting out all these coins all over the place. And, you know, it kind of goes into like a darker screen. And it's not that I'm in a bonus, but it's like, you know, you hit the spin button and it starts doing all this crazy stuff. And I was like, what the heck is going on? This dragon is pissed off. What did I do? And he's just spitting, all these coins are just flying all over the place and spewing down and stuff like that. And then, you know, eventually the screen comes back on and the reels are spinning, and you know, I hit a bonus, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, bonus, all right. Oh man, this freaking bonus was crazy. I kept hitting, you know, more spins, but each time I was hitting more and extra spins, I was getting it with the 3 times dragon. You know, and like I said, if you don't know the game, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But there's the second reel and the fourth reel. If you get the dragon symbol, which is wild, 3 times wild, if you get it in those 2 reels, you get 5 extra spins. If you get 2 of those and a coin, you get 15 extra spins. On top of that, you get times 3 times 5 the bonus. Well, I hit that like 3 times. And, you know, that's like 6 times whatever the bonus spin pays. And then I, you know, hit the double a couple of times. I'm just going to put this all the way down. Wilson's not going to care if I tear up his yard. And man, this thing just, I mean, I got free spins, you know, up the wazoo there. And so I went to the bank. That's what I wanted. Okay. So I went to am I on the right camp? So I went to the bank this morning to go deposit that money into my account. And you know, it's always the simple things that just aggravate me. So I get to the bank and I try to deposit the money, and the little cash thing won't open to take the money. So I tried it again, it still didn't work. And I was like, are you freaking serious right now? So I'm all aggravated because I just want to get this money deposited. I wanted to come back to the house and work in the yard. You know, it's like 5:30 in the morning. And, you know, I'm very impatient. I don't like to wait for anything. And I'm just like, oh my God. So now I got to go to a different bank across town because I just want to get this money in my account because I want to spend it. And I actually had already started spending it last night when I got home. But, so, you know, something that was supposed to be a simple 15-minute process, you know, ends up taking me 45 minutes. And then I got home. And I'm just aggravated now. So I started working in the yard. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but, you know, working in the yard just kind of puts you at peace a little bit. It's quiet, you know, at 6 in the morning, you know, whatever it was, 6:30. And I started pulling the POA and the bent grass out of my lawn in my front yard. And what I do is I use my plugger tool, and I basically just take out square plugs and then I replace them with the side patch grass that I have in my side yard. And I started doing that. And I was only going to do a little bit. I was just going to do a few, you know, take mostly the POA out. I was just going to, you know, since I'm going to be composting it probably next weekend, so this is like a high spot that I want to kind of grind out a little bit. So I really started going to town on taking out plugs. You know, I wasn't going to take out the bent grass because I'm going to spray it with tenacity when I do the overseed. And the tenacity is just going to help kill it. And I just want to start getting my lawn to the point to where, you know, I said, you know, yesterday, I'm just not going to mess with it anymore. You know, I'm constantly messing with my yard and doing things to it, you know, that cause damage. And I do a lot of it just because it gives me something to do, you know, to fix, to work on, you know, to make things, you know, make improvements, whatever, you know, learn, you know, so like yesterday, I couldn't remember ethofumicate. Ethofumicate is the stuff that I put down in December on my lawn to kill the POA, but I put it down at like a really strong concentrate. And you know, I've done things like that the last couple of years. In the wintertime, I do something with my lawn that just, you know, one year I sprayed glyphosate on it and killed POA. Just to, you know, have to repair it. And, you know, this year I was trying to see, you know, how fast the Kentucky bluegrass was going to fill back in and repair it and all that. So I just kind of want to get to the point where I'm not doing that anymore. And I can put down some, you know, pre-emergent, and really just start letting my lawn get dialed in more and be less maintenance and stuff like that. I mean, I really don't do a lot on my yard as it is. So I'll do the pre-emergence more and all that kind of stuff. Well, when I started taking these plugs out, man, I went to town. I must have, what was it? I think I replaced 90 plugs in my yard. I mean, I'll show you. I have it all in the wheelbarrow. I'll show you what that looks like. I took some pictures. I do have a video to show. I did a couple. Yesterday I was talking about just kind of going back on a lot of the research papers I've been going through. And I got that all dialed into a little video clip to be able to show you the actual research papers, the topics, the titles. You know, all these research papers are behind paywalls. You know, you can't just go and download them and open them. You know, if you want to download and read it, you've got to subscribe to whatever journal they're listed in. because they're behind paywalls. And that's the way a lot of these research papers are. So I took some screenshots of the titles of them and stuff like that, just to kind of show you what the different titles were. And then yesterday I also talked about hydratane. And the research on that basically, shows hydratane doesn't do anything, even though you may think it does. So I have the numbers and the video and stuff like that on that. So I'm just going to bring that up as well. All right. I think I've done enough on that. So that's the dethatching process. I scarified, late aerated, whatever you want to call it. So let me talk about this Sunjo real quick, because I want to bring up a really good point about it. And why I'm really actually now sold on it. I don't really talk about products. You buy what you think you need. I mean, I've never had a product where I've got it and I didn't like it. I don't like reading reviews. I don't like hearing people talk about stuff and say, oh, thanks, and sliced bread and all this kind of stuff, and doing their reviews and all that. I'm taking this, some of my equipment off the Thatcher because I'm done with it. And my mower's in the van, so I got to get that out real quick. There's some really cool ramps to get it going in the van. To make it easier to get the mower in and out. So let me put this back. Let me put this back on the camera here. So this is the aeration blade, scarifier, vertical blades, whatever you want to call them. I don't really care, but they're longer than the tines. They're longer than the tines on the dethatcher. And so you could probably see on the blade here, when you have this set all the way low, it cuts into the top layer of dirt. So this is why I use this instead of doing an aerator or anything like that. I don't believe in aeration, but you believe what you want to believe. The research says aeration for a homeowner probably never needs to be done. But of course, if you have really seriously compacted soil, then of course you definitely should probably aerate and add some sand or something in there. But there's a better way, and what the process that I'm actually doing right here is I'm going to talk about that, is probably a better way to help loosen your soil, because you need a certain amount of compaction in your soil to get proper capillary action with water, which, everything you talk about in lawn care goes from one, I don't know how far my mic covers here, but I gotta get my key real quick. So down into your soil and stuff like that, then that gets me into talking about deep and infrequent, watering, and deep and infrequent is by far not the best way to water. You have light and frequent in the research, and that's part of the titles of what I'm talking about with the slides. I'm going to show you the titles of some different papers that's where that comes from, talking about deep and infrequent watering compared to light and infrequent. So went over 10 different research papers on the topic, covering multitudes of grass types, and that's what's going to be in the titles. So I'll turn one of these cameras over here so you can see what I'm doing. So I got my van. So I mow the park's yard for them. What I told them is I was going to do 2 months of maintenance for them with doing the renovation. I was going to mow. I was going to do some weed control, some fertilization and all that kind of stuff. So I was over there yesterday mowing, and I really like those guys. Mr. Park is so funny, and I don't know how old they are, but they're definitely a little older than I am. And I'm out there mowing, and he runs up to me, and he doesn't speak good English, and he runs up to me, and he's like, Chris. He wants to have me fix some sprinklers, because in a couple of the areas where I killed, but I didn't plant grass seed, but I put new topsoil down for them. They made I don't know how that's going to line with how I had the angle set. I don't know if this changes with my gloves on. Give me 20 seconds here. I'm just trying to see if the switcher's switching. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it wasn't working with my gloves, so I guess when I changed the camera earlier, it didn't change. So Mr. Park went out in his in that area, and he put in a garden. He put like a bed and all these different things, and he covered his sprinklers in that area. And he was like, "Oh, my sprinklers are buried. Can you fix them? Can you find them?" So after I got done mowing, I went over there and I dug up 3 of his sprinklers. And I just happened to have some risers and all that stuff. And his sprinkler system is not like mine. So let me lower this. Yeah, his sprinklers. A lot of these sprinklers out here. It seems like up the hill area of my neighborhood, a lot of those houses when they were built, it looked like some guy that did lawns or installed sprinkler systems or whatever. I don't know if he got a contract over there and did all those houses or what, but he obviously did a bunch because they're all kind of done the same. And I do my own sprinklers, and I don't do them that way. They basically, he's running a 1-inch, or they have a 1-inch tube running down there, and they split off of the tube into it's not a drip hose, but it's like a drip hose. And from the drip hose, it extends out, and then there's a, an attachment that goes on it that basically is like an elbow, points up, and it is a male threaded piece that the sprinkler attaches to. So you don't use any risers, is what I'm getting at here. So to add a riser to it, you have to add a coupler, a threaded coupler. And I learned that doing their sprinklers, some of their other sprinklers, because I talked about this when I was doing their yard project, that after I got it all seeded and everything done on it, their sprinkler system was not ideal for the new seed, and it was washing out a lot of the seed areas, and I had to do a lot of repairs like really quick. So like the first, oh shoot. So like the first couple nights after work, I was going over there and I was having to fix these sprinklers, and that was how I learned about this system. So like the first night I had to go to Home Depot and I had to buy a bunch of supplies. So that I could fix them properly, because I was thinking it was going to be like my sprinklers, and they weren't. So I couldn't just add like a riser and a sprinkler and prop them up and stuff like that. So anyway, that's how I learned about those sprinklers. So I'm just mowing up a lot of this stuff here. Just, and you can probably see not a lot came up when I was, doing all the thatching and blade. I mean, I didn't even tear up the lawn really. But I'm just sucking up all the material that did come out of it, especially in some of these areas where I kind of ground it down a little bit to kind of level it out a little bit more. So I'm going to go in and fix my switcher here in just a second, because it just cut out. I think I'm getting too far out of reach of my network for it to stay connected. So we're kind of stuck on this one camera for right now. I don't even know which one it's on. But I'll go fix it here. So this is a pretty easy process to do. My biggest thing is, I'm not doing a sand leveling. I don't really do that on any of my yards. I don't do any sand leveling. On my putting green, maybe once a year I do. I do some sanding on it. I'm not doing it this year. I mean, my putting green's looking really good, and I don't want to do anything to it. If it starts suffering and starts going south and looking bad and needing some attention, then I'll probably do something. But for right now, I'm really happy with the way it looks, and I'm not going to mess with it. All right. So Wilson's nice enough to let me use his yard waste. Well, of course for his lawn, because it's his yard waste, but I put some of my yard waste in here too. But for the most part, I don't really have any yard waste. I kind of keep it all together. And I just take it to the dump when I go to the dump. All right, so I'm gonna go fix the switcher so I can get that back up and running. So I mean, we're pretty much almost done here. I mean, all I really got to do is add some seed, and I'll show you how I'm gonna, my new tool that I got for spreading dirt and compost and stuff like that. It's really nice. I really like it. Because gotta connect here. Should have got my drink while I was inside. Sorry, I had to get a drink too. So I'm just gonna set my switcher. I have a little table over here that I have a bunch of my stuff on. So I'm gonna grab my seed and put it down. Now Wilson's Yard is the Mystique perennial ryegrass from Seed Boss. And because I planned on doing this 6 weeks ago, I haven't put any nutrients on it. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm getting my spreader and my seed at the same time. I guess I could have got this out earlier, but I didn't. It's not even in there. Forgot the seed over here. Getting close. Getting the spreader right now. And I am going to pour the seed in, and I'm just going to start seeding. All right, I poured from the wrong side of the bag. So that's great. Now I'm getting seed all over my grass area here. I don't have perennial rye in my yard, so and it's not my yard that I poured the seed in. So the spreader I have, I don't like it, but it's what I have. Seems to be working okay. I have it on the setting at 9 right now. So I think with my switcher program, it cuts out, it has like a hidden setting somewhere that I can't find that times it out after time. And so Wilson had done some sprinkler repair there. I don't really know what a setting of 9 is going to do as far as dropping seed. This is a Scott's product, so it's a piece of crap. I only use it because I've had it forever. It works better backwards than forwards. Kind of like when I'm driving my truck, I drive better backwards than I do forwards, but that's a whole different topic and story. Kind of scary though, huh? So I can definitely see it's dropping seed, so that's at least a good sign. But again, it doesn't drop as good when you go forward. Rock right here. So in these dry spots here, I'm going to get the garden weasel out and I'm going to work the seed into the soil in these dry, bare spots. And I think this is a little stinging nettle plant over here. I need to bring my weed puller over and pull that out. So that was my camera view with no mic. Oh, the stupid switcher went out again. Yeah, when I get down to this part of the yard, I think I just get out of range. My cameras are hardwired. They don't run on Wi-Fi. They're actually connected. So again, like I said, I'm just trying to make sure that the bare spots are getting good seed coverage. I think this spot right here did not. Almost done here. Hey John, how's it going? Good. Hello. Just want to get some good coverage in these bare spots here. So let me just get my switcher working so I can switch the camera over to, and I'm just going to leave it in one spot so it doesn't keep doing that. Put this on. I'm going to put this on this spreader here. So I am not going to put this on here. Just going to set it over here. That's probably a bad place to set it. Just trying to get out of the shade. So the spreader I have here, he's got it for the big yards I did. Man, this thing's great. It holds 2 bags of peat moss, which is great. So this here is the perennial ryegrass. It's normal size. So like Kentucky bluegrass is definitely like quarter that size, and bent grass is so fine it's really hard to see. So I'm probably better off just doing a multi-view. On this instead of one camera. Oh, I'll go to multi-view. So I'm thinking should get coverage of about probably 4 wheelbarrows on the yard. Sorry, I'm just getting my garden weasel. I'm going to work that foil in. Well, at least it looks like all the cameras are still working. Pine cones over here. So there's just a couple areas here that I want to kind of work a little bit. Some of the higher spots, like this right here is got to bring my weeder over. So we're just about done on this. You know, and Wilson's yard doesn't really have any weeds in it. Hey, Wilson. What's going on?
Are you busy?
No, yeah, what's up?
I thought that you have something to kind of separate the rocks, like a little mesh.
I do.
Can I use?
Yeah, it plugs. Yeah, it plugs into electric socket because it's a shaker.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you. Here, it's on the cart and everything. I told you I'm a professional, man. You know, they say works harder, not smarter. Wait, no, smarter, not hard. You know, something like that. So,
Oh my God, you have all, you have everything.
so
Thank you for this.
yeah, you're welcome. I'm just gonna wheel this over so I can show it on the camera too, so everybody can see what's up with this. Cause you know. Yeah, just plug it in. I gotta strap it, everything. I'm gonna just move it over here and I'm gonna show the camera here what's going on. Change it over to this camera here. Okay, so this is a shaker. I was supposed to clean it, but I didn't because I had a bunch of stuff in here. But so my shaker, it fits right on top of the cart here, like almost perfectly.
Okay.
And then there's a strap down here. So it's kind of, it needs a little bit of reinforcement. So it might, if it shakes itself apart, I'm sorry. I've used this thing a lot. So, but I put the strap on here to tighten it down so it stays. And for anybody who cares, I have a 1/4-inch screen mesh on here, 2 concrete shaking motors right here. These plug in, and you can either do it by hand or you can plug it in. If you plug it in, it's just, you can just throw shovels on it and it's gonna sift the rocks out on top, of course, and then the dirt's gonna fall through.
See how much I can progress.
And if you break it, don't worry about it. You didn't buy it. I promise. Well, I'm just saying it's wood, so it could. I haven't tightened it up. A lot of times, after a lot of use, I got to tighten up the corners and the edges. You'll see when you start using it. It'll start shaking. I don't think it's going to vibrate itself apart. Let's see if I can do this right. Did I already mess it up, Wilson? I did it the wrong way. You just do it like this. I'm not a ratchet strap professional. I'm a professional at a lot of things, but not this.
The subscribers are probably laughing at you.
They always do. It's my jokes, you know? Go back through here. That's why you leave it intact, and probably had it intact at one time. And then there we go. Yeah, that'll hold it.
Okay.
There you go. Like I said, you could shake it or just use your shovel and push it around. Whatever you want to do, Wilson. However you want to use it.
Around here.
Yeah. Yeah. All yours, man.
What is the time on the grass? More? Even more?
We'll talk about that afterwards because I put seed down. So I'll probably have you doing it a few times a day just to keep it wet. It is very dry. So this is pretty much the only weed that he has in his whole yard here. I haven't done any weeding or pre-emergent or anything on this yard either. And, you know, that's what I talk about with proper lawn care practices. If you take care of your yard right, you won't have a lot of weeds and disease. You listen to all these guys that are telling you a bunch of stuff that you don't need to be doing, you're gonna have problems. I watch the YouTubes like everybody else, and I stopped doing what those guys said at least 3 years ago. It's probably 4 now. And I started researching myself, things to do, best ways to take care of things. It's really dry over here. This area gets a lot of sun. So since I'm putting a layer of compost and topsoil, I'll talk about my mixture real quick. Let me put this back on multi-view. So Wilson had some topsoil delivered to him. He was doing a couple of planter projects in his yard, and he was like filling in some areas and all that kind of good stuff. So he had some leftover topsoil. So in this mix, there's 3-way topsoil, cow manure, compost, bags of topsoil, and lawn soil and soil amendment. And it's kind of all just dumped in this pile here. I dumped it out so it could dry out. And for my yard, I would sift this, since, you know, I maintain Wilson's yard like, I don't know, like 1.5 inches, I think. 2 inches. I don't really need to work, and I do it with a rotary mower. I don't real mow his lawn. Because he has a hard enough time keeping it watered and stuff like that, to real mow it and to keep it growing good. So I'm carrying this stupid pin around this whole time. All right, we're gonna see how well this works out. So I've really only used this roller for spreading soil amendment and peat moss. I've never used it for what I'm getting ready to do. And on top of that, well, I thought it was just going to dump in there, but maybe not. Keep it from rolling. So this is like a 6 cubic foot wheelbarrow. So You don't have to quite fill it up all the way. Oh, that's heavy. Oh, I didn't strap it. I'm gonna bring a block to bed up. So there was still some big, large peat moss chunks in here from earlier. And I used it. So the spreader is just laying down with very light coat of this. I don't even think it's 1/4 of an inch. And so because when I dumped all the bags of soil mixture out, it's kind of in layers. Topsoil, compost, steer manure, soil amendment, and lawn soil. And some of the stuff is really light and some of the stuff is really thick, but here's the great thing about doing this process. And you know, you don't have to use topsoil. You could just use compost. You could just use compost soil amendment. Compost, soil amendment, chicken manure, cow manure. Those, let's see, let me grab a rock and use this as a stop for the roller. But the more organic the soil is that you're adding, the better it's going to be for your microbe and bacteria environment. You know, we don't call it feeding the microbes because you're not feeding the microbes. The microbes are already down there doing their job. You're just providing them with more material to work on. I should probably use my shovel. You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, you got to feed the microbes. And It's not really feeding that you're doing. It's just you're providing the environment that they want. So they can do and create the different amino acids and bacteria and just all the stuff that, you know, microbes do. Without microbes in the world, this would be a way different place. Yeah, see, I'm bending this, so I need to use my shovel. So it's a lot easier to fill this thing when you're filling it with bags. And I would have just filled it with bags, but when I got them, they were so wet. Because, you know, I don't know if you guys know, you know, I live in Western Washington, and it rains a lot in Washington. So, because of that, bags of topsoil get really wet. Sitting out at the Home Depot and all that stuff. This is kind of the problem with doing this on a slope. So all the stuff piles to one side. And because of that, and I'm not pushing this uphill. And I probably should. Yeah, everything sloped over here to one side. Let me throw this. I hear Wilson using the shaker. So probably gonna take more than 4 wheelbarrows, maybe 5. So just to kind of backtrack what I've done here. Started out with my dethatcher. After I've been scalping, well, mowing this lawn really short for 6 weeks now, because I meant to do this 6 weeks ago. And I haven't added any nutrients or anything to it since then. And because I won't say I'm a spoon feeding necessarily type person, as much as I'm a micro feeding, I don't put a lot of nutrients down at once. I do just enough for it to get by for a couple of weeks, and then I add more. You know, the recommended amount of nutrients you put down. Nitrogen in most grasses is about 3 to 4 pounds. So I break that up into monthly, bi-monthly applications. So doing like a 1/4 pound every 2 weeks just makes it so that it's getting a taste. You're getting some growth, thickening. And if you don't want that growth, then, no, I was gonna bring the shovel. If you don't want the growth, then use iron. If you want green up with no growth, just use some iron. Iron's gonna give you that instant green, but don't use that granular iron. Granular iron is worthless. It's not even worth the money you pay for it. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Especially the lawn care nut, because I know he sells an iron product in a bag that's granular and talks about how great it is. And the research shows that granular iron is a big waste of money. It basically, no matter how much chelated, how chelated it is, what it's chelated with, a granular iron is going to oxidize out within 2 to 10 hours. And because it's not being foliar applied, it's not going to give you an instant green up. And you're going to say, oh, but you're wrong. I apply ironite all the time and I get a green up from it. And if you look on the bag of ironite, it contains a lot of sulfur. And this is where most people who just don't understand how all these different nutrients work, you know, because you're a homeowner, you work, you do all these things, you don't have time to learn about how all these things work. You just want to listen to some guy tell you to use this product and it's what it's going to do. And, you know, spend the money. You don't care. You don't care how it works. You just want it to work. And I understand that. I was like that. I got tired of paying all that money for all those really expensive products. I mean, the lawn care nut, his products are so expensive. I've gone over this. My nutrient program is nitrogen and iron, and it's 34 cents per 1,000 to apply urea nitrogen, and it's 36 cents to apply heptahydrated iron sulfate, and that's all you need for your lawn. No, I gotta keep forgetting this buckle these. Keep thinking the pin is all I need to put on there, and that's it. All right, I need to man up and push it up this hill. Oh, this is heavy. Now you're probably thinking it'd be a lot easier just to throw a bunch of shovelfuls of stuff out here and get your level rake out and do all that. Sure. If you want to do that, you go right ahead. You can do that. It doesn't matter how you get it out. The reason why I like doing it this way is I get a nice, even layer. Let's see here. And as long as I don't keep going over the same spot, I'm gonna get a nice even layer. All right, let me bring this camera over here. Let me show you the stuff that we're sifting out of this as well. So, if I wasn't using this, you see all that? That would be getting into the soil. I hear that clanging. That's a dirt clod. There's a lot of rocks in here. Okay. Oops. Anyways, you can probably see it. A lot of rocks in there. So, So I'm gonna take these rocks and I'm just gonna throw them over here in the tree area. Now, when you're just using compost, you don't get all these rocks. This is from the topsoil. When you're using the compost, you're just gonna get sticks and twigs and things like that, which is just good to put in your beds. So, I guess probably got 2 more of these to do. One of my sprinklers is stuck. Thank you. So this is supposed to be in the high 80s today and 90s. Oh, I just got sprayed. I turned my sprinklers on to come on it. I don't know what, 1:30 or something like that. I don't know. I've been doing this live forever, so. Just working in the yard, doing stuff. Wilson's going to town on that shaker. It's good. So that shaker's a really good thing to have. You just make a frame, make it big enough to fit over your wheelbarrow, and put a concrete motor on it for like $40 or $50. Little 1/4-inch screen. And sift your, that's what I use for making my topsoil for my yard. It sifts out all the big stuff and you get a really nice fine topsoil mix. I believe this is a, is this a, did I get the 48? I think I got the 48-inch. I was just looking for something big for doing peat moss. So soil amendment and peat moss are really easy to spread in this thing because they're so light. Once you start getting into topsoil like this, you know, heavier material, it's a little work. And like I said, you know, doing this kind of stuff is going to help with compaction, because it's just going to increase the work for the microbes. They're going to go to town, and you know, then you're going to get worms and all those kinds of things. You know, everybody loves worms, except for me. The Lomo guy does not like worms because worm castings. So, but that's what you want to do. By doing this, you're going to increase your worm population. Your microbes are going to become more active. And both those things combined together is going to equal less compacted soil. And it's something that if you did this twice a year in your yard's going to benefit from it. Now, the one downside to doing this, and you're going to probably laugh at me because I say downside, but to me it's a downside. You're adding phosphorus. And this is technically the reason why I don't need to add phosphorus in my yard, and I don't. But by doing this, you're just adding organic material. By adding organic material, you're giving the turf grass the opportunity to start communicating with microbes. Yeah, I just said communicating, because turf grass does communicate with microbes. All plants do. They don't like talk to each other, like say, hey, you know, how you doing? All this kind of stuff. But they communicate to each other through chemical reactions, bacteria, amino acids, those sorts of things. And what happens is the turf grass will trigger chemical reactions within itself. That's going to tell the microbes that the grass wants more phosphorus, more potassium, more whatever. And if it's not available, the microbes have the ability to just getting a drink real quick. The microbes have the ability to solubilize insoluble material in the soil. So this is where I talk about soil tests, and having soil tests done is pretty much a waste, especially if you're doing the what the heck is it called? Ion exchange resin, or whatever it's called, you know, the liquid one, the My Soil, the Yard, what is it, Yard Mastery, Anderson's, all those guys that do the soil test where you put a scoop of soil in that liquid and you send it off to their lab, and their lab comes back and tells you, hey, you need this and this, here, buy this product. You know, it's just a sales tool for those labs to sell you products. On top of that, it's a very flawed test. The principles that they talk about how they do it might make sense, but it actually is a very inaccurate way to measure soil health. And on top of that, they really don't even give you the numbers you need. I would say a CEC number is probably more important than to know what your potassium is or your phosphorus. I like to know pH, but not because I care so much for nutrient uptake. I care about it because I try to keep my soil on the alkaline side of things. What did I do with it? What did I do with the pen? Oh man. Probably carried it off somewhere. Oh man. Thought I put it in my pocket. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, if you don't put this pin in here, this middle part kind of bows out a little bit. So, getting back to how the plant talks to the microbes to get more nutrients released. So by these chemical reactions and these enzymes and these amino acids, bacteria, just all the different things that are going on in your soil, that who cares what's going on in your soil? All you care is that these microbes are doing their job. And what they'll do is, when the turf grass starts signaling that, hey, I need this or I need that, the microbes take that chemical reaction and work with it to produce, say, maybe your soil test said you were low on phosphorus, but you're not really low on phosphorus. You just have insoluble phosphorus in your soil. Okay, one more of these and I'm gonna call it good. So the microbes have the ability to solubilize that insoluble nutrient in your soil. So just because your soil test says you don't have phosphorus, well, it doesn't measure insoluble. You could have a whole bunch of insoluble phosphorus, potassium, whatever in your soil. Your best soil test for nutrients is your eyes. When you start seeing a deficiency, then you start acting. But when you start acting, you don't act with a triple 13 or a triple 18 or triple 17 or triple 10, whatever. Because a triple number is way too much of anything. And we got to go back to the basics of how turfgrass uptakes nutrients. Nitrogen is what determines how much phosphorus and potassium is being taken up, because it's all done by ratio. The ratio is 4:1:2, 4 nitrogen, 1 phosphorus, 2 potassium. So when you see a product that is numbered in that manner, it's actually a good product. Do you actually need it? Probably not. But if you have a product, we're going to just call it 824. 824 would be the same thing. Or any breakdown of 412. What would it be? Like a 32, 8, 16, something in that number range. In those numbers, you're applying a balanced amount of N, P, and K to the soil. And the soil and the turf grass is able to uptake it, and you're not going to have a whole bunch of extra phosphorus. You know, when you have too much phosphorus in your soil, what does it cause? Runoff, leaching, all those sorts of things. And runoff and leaching is not good for your local waterways. I don't know where your storm water goes, whether it goes to the pond, the lake, the ocean, or whatever. It goes somewhere, and it's usually not treated. And I was just learning about, I think it's in the Everglades in Florida. They have a massive cleanup going right now of the Everglades, where they're revitalizing, I guess you would call it, the Everglades. They have massive algae blooms. That's the cause. That's caused from, one of the ways is caused by phosphorus. Have you ever heard of the red tide in the ocean? Have you ever lived on the coast and you used to think it was cool to go out when the red tide was up and walk around in the dark in the ocean, and how the water would glow red? Phosphorus. And phosphorus getting in the waterways. It's not good. And this is where I always come back to. This is why I talk about it all the time. Somebody who's never seen me before probably never heard that, because you never hear your favorite lawn care guy or the lawn care nut, Doc, whatever his name is. All these different guys that have their YouTube channels, they're huge YouTube channels, a lawn ginger. You know, all these people that have these big, huge YouTube channels, you know, they don't talk about a lot of these things. And then you have all these, you know, other YouTube channels that basically copy what all these other guys are saying. And it's just a constant regurgitation of bad information and getting out there. When you watch it, then you watch another guy say the exact same thing, and you're like, well, shit, if two people are saying it, it must be true. And then you chat GTP it, and chat GTP, because it just regurgitates what's on the internet, repeats the same thing. Then you're like, oh, must be true. And I'm just here to say, it's not true. And that's why I constantly hammer in on nutrients and, you know, not applying a bunch of crap to your lawn that you don't need to apply. I mean, this one I'm doing right here is gonna increase. Oh shoot, I keep forgetting to clip these things. It's gonna increase phosphorus content, potassium. You know, it's organic material. Composting organic material is gonna add P into your, let me say phosphorus, not P, but phosphorus. And it's gonna add phosphorus into your soil. Every time I do this, it doesn't amazing. You get from it in your lawn's appearance. It's great. And it's too bad I waited so long to do this on Wilson's yard, because it's so hot right now. I don't know how long we're supposed to go with this heat wave, but it's supposed to be a few days. I put seed down, I'm going to tell Wilson he needs to keep the soil moist. You know, I could name so many lawn care YouTube guys that, you know, tell you all this garbage. You know, Ron Henry. Ron Henry's a salesperson. All he's doing is selling products. Which to me, you know, I don't care. You know, everybody's got a job to do. Selling is your job. That's their job, is to convince you you need to buy that product. So, you know, good on them. All right, well, that was great fun. All right. I think I might take my level rake a little bit, work some of these areas, then I'm going to roll it. I'm going to call it good. The biggest part of this process was doing what I just did. Spreading a really good organic mixture of soil. Now, organic. You know, I'm not into organics. I don't eat organic vegetables. I don't buy organic food. You know, I'm not that guy. But when it comes to the lawn and responsibly maintaining it, organic soil's the way to go. There's just so many benefits to what it's doing. My table is on fire over here. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. Now, it looks like looks like a couple of my cameras are dropping out. That one. Okay, it died. This off. I think everything's starting. My cameras are actually overheating because this camera's in the shade. The only one that's left is in the shade. And I don't know if this camera's overheating or not. Feels really hot. I just noticed it was sitting in the... Oh, look. So those cameras are plugged in, so they should stay on, but I'm not quite sure why this one keeps cutting in and out. So I don't know if my mic's not working or cutting out. I'm almost done. gonna work some of these high spots down. So again, if you're just coming across this stream or whatever, for whatever reason, you're on the toilet, trying to find something to watch while you're taking care of your business, or your game just ended, I am composting and overseeding this lawn. Perennial ryegrass lawn. I scalped it. My mower cuts down to 3/4 of an inch. So I scalped it and I dethatched it. It's perennial ryegrass, so it doesn't need to be dethatched. But what I do, the reason why I detach perennial ryegrass when I'm doing this is to thin it out. I took out very little material in that part of the video. I had it on the second to the lowest setting for dethatching. And like I said, it was basically just like running a comb through your hair when you wake up in the morning to get out the, thin it out, make it look good. And after I dethatched it, I did the aeration blade, not aeration tool, where I didn't punch holes in the grass. I used the aeration blade, vertical blades on my thatcher, scarifier, whatever you want to call it, vertical blades. I was showing earlier how the blades are just a little longer than the tines on the detaching piece, and because of that, when you have it on the lowest setting, it cuts down deeper, and basically it just slices right through and creates these grooves and loses that top layer of soil, so you can get a good seed bed. I laid some seed down in my drop spreader. I don't use a broadcast spreader unless I'm on a really huge yard, but on a yard this size, I don't use a broadcast spreader because seed goes everywhere. With the drop spreader, you have more control where the seed's going, and you can manage it better. So because of that, I use a drop spreader, and I made sure my really thin areas got a good, you know, not like an overseed, but like an actual reseeding. And then the other areas, I just let the seed drop down into it, and then I'm just kind of leveling out some of the high spots. And this is also helping to work the seed down into the grass, down into the soil. And also when you lay this, it's laying over the top of the seed, so you're getting, all around, you're getting a good seed to soil contact right here through all these processes. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'm just finishing up. This is Mystique perennial ryegrass. Looks really good. I'm gonna get Wilson to get this watering really nice and good so that it comes back up. And we're gonna go from where it is right now, 3/4 of an inch from my scalping. Gonna move it up to, I don't know, it's setting 2 on my mower. I think it's 1.5 inches. Setting 2 is, actually I think it's 2 inches. I don't know, I've never really measured, but I use setting 2 on my Honda, what is it, Honda HRX 217. It's the lowest cutting rotary mower. It's advertised to cut down to 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just rolling my roller over here. Sorry, just been doing the marathon live out here, but I just set the cameras up and started going. So there's just a few areas I want to concentrate on, trying to get this roller to get the soil compacted a little bit better, seed to soil contact. So along the sidewalk here, these bare spots, which I know you can't see, but the bare spots, I sprayed glyphosate to kill some weeds along the sidewalk. And I got some overspray. Plus I was spraying some POA too. So Wilson's yard originally, this whole area last year before I redid it was totally destroyed by grubs and the birds, the skunks, the raccoons, all the critters that come in and dig up your yard for grubs were here having a smorgasbord of grubs because it was covered. And I did a 24-hour grub killer. I used the Bio Advanced 24-hour grub killer. I did 2 applications because those grubs were serious. And I did a complete renovation without killing. Didn't kill anything. I didn't spray glyphosate. I didn't kill any weeds. I didn't do anything. I just killed moss and grubs. I used my dethatcher and I scrubbed the heck out of this to get the moss out. And my Amazon orders here. My bonus stuff I bought from my jackpot I won last night. Time is it? Oh, it's early too. Maybe that's not my Amazon guy. Maybe it is. I'm gonna stop at everybody's house but mine. You don't got anything for over here? No? It's not. Yeah. Oh, you do? I thought you were gonna hit everybody's house but mine. No, not that one? Yeah, that's me, man. I'm just working on the neighbor's yard.
Well, that's nice of you.
Yeah, no. Thanks. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, you too. You're early too. It said you weren't gonna be here till like.
I'm super fast.
You are. Speedy Gonzalez. No, it's all good, man. Thank you. Have a great day, man. All right. Well, I can't believe my life's still gone. It's crazy. I probably should have turned the brightness down on my camera. It's getting washed out, it looks like. Over here. So, I'm gonna grab this, go over to my yard real quick. So, hopefully this stays connected. It should. I'm getting closer. Here is not the right camera for this. This one is set for nighttime. So, right here, I don't know how well you can see or tell, or if it's still going, but, oh, you know, I have some pictures of this stuff. Well, let me scroll to some. I mean, I made those videos so you guys could see what was going on. I know most people are gone by now, long gone. Whatever. So I'm gonna switch, if my switcher's still working. It says it is. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to, which one is it? Oh man, I didn't put a switch on here for it. Wait, I don't even know if I linked that video now. Hold on, let me go inside real quick. I was talking about it, but I wasn't showing it to you. So I'll show it. I didn't have the switcher in my hand. So this is the years ago, and it was a giant mess, and it looked terrible for the first year. But the second year it came around and started looking a lot better. I got it all leveled out. You wouldn't believe, but this was a total types of sod pieces that I had just cut out of my grass area around my putting green. But you'd probably have a hard time finding it. Anyway, so these are all the plugs that I pulled out right here and replaced in my yard. And then this is the wheelbarrow full of, hopefully I don't turn that off. It's still on. This is the, this battery's probably getting ready to die. Anyway, so this is what I was showing. POA. Some Trivialis right in there. I think this was just Trivialis. See, it's Trivialis' stalk. See how this, it's got the big stalk. Annua was, what's this one? Had some Annua. This is still stock. Barely can see it right here. See how much, see how it's not a stalk like the other one. It's a really thin stalk with seed heads on it. That's actually a terrible example. You know, because I mow my lawn so short, it's really hard to, and that's kind of another way that I can maintain it. If I can cut the seed heads out before it starts growing. Oh, here we go. Here's some. There we go. So that's, I know everybody probably knows what Annua looks like. It's that really small stalk, thinner stalk with the seed heads on top. So most of that is all POA, but this isn't. Look at that. It's a nice chunk of bent grass right there. And that's what most of this is mostly just bent grass. I can pretty much just pick a piece and look, bent grass. Let's see, look, bent grass. Bent grass. Kind of tell by the blades. It's just bent grass. And I get a lot of that in my Kentucky bluegrass because of mowing. It just gets carried by my mower and roots and grows. Anyways, sorry for having to talk twice about it, show you once. So anyways, I guess I should probably end this big long stream. Guys, what did I start at, like 12:30 or something? Oh my God, it's ridiculous. So I pretty much went over everything I wanted to go over. I didn't get everything done today I wanted to do, but I still got time to work in the yard. I'll just shut the cameras off, get it done, put all this stuff away. I think I'm gonna mow the lawn again. I'm gonna rake it and then mow it to kind of work on those new areas, and then water it. Probably should fertilize it. It looks like you could use a dose of some nitrogen. Like I say, I only put, you know, a quarter pound every couple weeks on it. So I haven't put any down in a while, so I think it's been like 3 weeks. So I could probably do that. Plus it's really hot out, so it's not a good time to be doing that. Anyways, composting, that was the main goal today, get the composting done. Didn't plan on it going this long and taking this long, but it did. But I just wanted to talk about and show everybody, you know, just some good lawn care practices of how you can have a great yard without using a bunch of fertilizers. You know, I don't use a bunch of fertilizers. I don't use a bunch of weed killers. I don't use a bunch of pesticides. I don't use a bunch of disease azoxystrobin, propiconazole. I don't use any of that stuff. The only thing you'll find in my garage is a bag of urea and some grass seed and some iron sulfate heptahydrate. I have some old products that I bought from back in the day when I was listening to people like Yard Bra and Lawn Care Nut and all these other guys that had all these different, nutrient things they were trying to sell you from, Simple Lawn Solutions, I think was the big one. And then now Lawn Care Nut has its own overpriced fertilizer products. I think I still have a bottle in there, unopened. I showed it on my live one time last winter. What else? I have some weed killer. Mostly I use on other people's yards. I have tenacity. I have glyphosate. I have some propiconazole because, everybody always freaks you out about diseases and stuff like that, but I never even used it. I think I used it once last year because I thought I had dollar spot, which I don't think I did. I think I just had a watering problem. I still really don't know what happened. I think it was just an area of my yard that was cooking. I just don't use a bunch of these things, and it's not because I'm some environmentally friendly guy, trying to save the world by not using products. That's not why I don't use these products. It's called responsible lawn care practices. And more YouTube lawn care channels need to start talking about responsible lawn care practices, not all this garbage that they're telling you to put on your lawns. And this is why I spend my weekends doing YouTube videos and talking about it. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't ask people to like and subscribe. I really don't care. If somebody comes across my video and they just see that one thing, responsible lawn care practices, and not using all these different products because they're just a waste of money, not doing these soil tests that are inaccurate and not telling you anything, your eyes are what you need to be able to decide if you need to add something to your lawn. I can look at my lawn right now and I can see, man, it looks like it's a little water hungry too, but it could use a little more nitrogen. And like I said, I just give it a little nitrogen at a time. I don't dump a crap ton of nitrogen in my lawn at once. I give it a little bit every couple weeks and I let it go. And every few applications, I'll put some iron in it and get a little quick greening. But aside from that, my Kentucky Bluegrass cultivar, it's not a deep green cultivar. It's not, designed for deep green color. It's designed for low mow. And it's not like, Night Shift and all these different grass seeds that their sole goal is to provide a super dark grass color. That's not even my point in my lawn. My point in my lawn is to have a nice lawn, looks great, and I can mow it low. 6 millimeters and 2 millimeters, my putting green. My putting green's bent grass. Anyways, I want to stop. I'll go ahead and shut everything down. Shut it down. And let YouTube go back to its normal programming. Thanks for watching.